Welcome to the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris. Happy to be here with you. We've been coming to you every Monday. Well, not every Monday. We actually started on a Friday back in 2013 with Dr. John Robinson, clinical psychologist here in the area. And Dr. Robinson came to me in that summer, and I have been working with him for years. For those who know me, knowing that I have been working with kids and families, and he had been on my panel on numerous occasions and over a period of years. And he said, Charles, got an idea. And he came up with a journey. And I had to add 2020 to it because that was the only thing that was available as far as websites. So this is the Journey 2020, which started back in 2013. As Dr. John Robinson used to say, from me to you, from you to me, so we can reach a high level. And that's what we try to do here on the Journey 2020. It's funny because we cover a lot of different things over a period of time. And we cover some serious things, and we cover some things that are not so serious. And had an array of guests on from A to Z, and we've talked about some things. And you know, you get feedback and stuff like that. But you know what I've learned over the years in my little time that I spent here on Earth? There's two topics, that will always get attention, no matter what. People will stop. People will listen to you. People will tune in if you talk about two things. And what are those two things? One is if you talk about sex, people want to know what you're talking about. You know, I work with a gentleman, urologist, Dr. Abraham Woods, and he has a funny sense of humor. And Dr. Woods, for a period of some time, was one of the major players with Angela Adams of the Black Men's Health Summit. And he would always come on and spill, give us a little spiel to the men, because Angela, who I'm very close with, even to this day, she's always calling me to come over and fix her bicycle. But he was always one of the main speakers, and he would talk to the gentleman about the importance of health and so on and so forth. And he tried to explain to them about how you should still be vibrant in your life, and very open. And I won't repeat some of the things that he would say, but in talking about sex, and we're still trying to get Angela to start back up. But I think from what I heard her say the other day, we was trying to bring it back to Black Men's Health Summit that served well over 1,500 to 2,000 men for 20 years every year that she had the summit. But Dr. Woods had a great sense of humor when it comes to sex and putting it out there. Now, what's the other thing that people pay attention to? Now, if you want a bunch of clicks and likes, talk about money. People will stop. You talk about sex, talk about money. People will, what'd you say? Well, my guest today, he probably don't remember, but over a span of about maybe 6 or 7 years, I kind of tapped him a little bit, and he probably don't remember, but I said, hey, I want you to come on the show. 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 But actually, it was my fault because I never followed through with it. But I knew after talking to him that he had some good information. And we're gonna talk about this book right here, and I'm gonna bring him on, but we're gonna talk about this right here. It's called Living Beyond Your Paycheck. Oh my goodness. Can you relate? Moving from not enough into more than enough while making the same amount of money. Yeah, really? Really? Whoa, you're going to pull, basically, that's kind of like saying to a lot of us, you got a rabbit, but you're going to pull the hat out of the rabbit. No, you're not going to pull a hat, a rabbit, but the hat going to come. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So we have some bad habits, but he he gonna tell us like, well, we gonna fix that. So, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. Thank you so
Hey
much
man,
again, Chad
how are you?
McKendrick. Chad McKendrick. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to come on the Journey 2020. How you doing?
Uh, it's my pleasure, man. How are you today, Charles?
Man, any day above ground is a great day for me, you know. But,
Oh,
I know you probably don't remember, but I have stopped you over the years and probably I know on several occasions. Um, and I had told Ken Moore, I said, man, I need to have him on the show. And Ken even said to me, Ken said, Charles, man, you need to have him on the show. You need to have him on. That was like 5, 6 years ago. And then I saw you again, I saw you again, and then I said something to you. And then it's my fault because I didn't follow through. But we followed through on it. So give me a little history. Where you from, man? Where you from?
well, I'm originally from Miami,
Oh,
Florida.
Dade
Um,
County.
born and raised in Miami Garden, which used to be called Carroll City.
Hmm.
Went to American Senior High School and graduated from high school and went to Gainesville to the University of Florida.
Oh, a
I got
gator.
my
A
yeah, and then I
gator.
got my degree from the University of Florida.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I'm proud to say I'm an alumni of
Okay.
University of Florida. There's a lot of people say I went to Florida. No, I graduated from
Hey, that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got married and moved to Orlando, and we started our life here in Orlando uh, in 1990, and
Okay.
we've been in business for 36 years in our own financial service business. We own our own financial service firm. We wrote the book because we saw there was a big need because everything in the book is about me, what we went through to get to where we are today. And we knew that we thought it was only us, but come to realize 78% of full-time workers are living paycheck to paycheck. You're talking about $200,000 and less. Even some multimillionaires are multi cash millionaires are living check to check.
But but
Because it's
but
different.
but let me stop you on that one. Let me because I want to ask you a question. No, 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 because of my personality, when I hear stuff like that, I now go into the mindset of whatever that is and how you live your life because there and there are people who live off of $40,000 a year, $100,000, so on and so forth. But then if you like the the terms of living beyond your means and however we translate that into our worldly ways, um, because I can't imagine being broke and it happens every day. So I get it. So I'm just saying, in my own world, I can't imagine it happens every day. You making $100,000 and you broke, $200,000 and you broke. You making $1 million a year and you broke. It happens every day. So,
Every day.
right. So I don't know if you want to speak on that from whatever that is from the clinical part or whatever that is that you when you deal with people like that, because there's a difference now. There's a difference because, well, let me ask you this right here. Okay, the conversation that you would have with somebody that's making between 25 and $45,000 a year got to be different than somebody making 100,000 to $200,000 a year, right? Right? No.
Wrong. Nope. They all are the same. There's a such thing called Parkinson's law of money.
Okay.
Parkinson's Parkinson's law of money. In 1955, Parkinson discovered the law of money. So they named it after him. It's called the Parkinson's law of money. In 1955, he found out that the more money we make, the more money we spend.
Right.
The first thing come to your mind is spending money. When you get money, spending money. Meaning you can look it up, you can Google it, and they'll tell you Parkinson's law of money. You can Google it, and
Okay,
it'll tell you exactly what I'm telling you.
But yeah, I get that part though. But this is what I'm talking about. Because there are people who are making $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year that are not broke. So that's what I'm talking about, the clinical part of how you manage your money, because there are people who don't make nearly as much as those who spending money and broke, and there's people who barely make close to them, but they're not broke in the sense of they're not living paycheck to paycheck. If I'm making sense.
Well, 78% of full-time workers are living paycheck to paycheck. 78%. See, they people tell you stuff, but see, I deal with it every day. They lie. You make it. I got doctored.
No. I don't mean it like that. Oh, okay. So I give you that. So I give you paycheck. Well, it's two different things. So you're gonna have to help me out, because I'm looking at it like this right here. There are people who are living paycheck to paycheck,
right?
But there are people who may not be able to make a lot of money, but they're able to put their hands on something in case of an emergency. Then there's those, right? But and they're not making a lot of money. Then those who make a lot of money can't put their hands on money in a sense of emergency. So that's what I'm talking about.
Right, because you're talking about almost 60% of full-time workers can't get their hands on $1,000,
right,
without borrowing. And if you can't get your hands on the money, first thing when life happens, the first thing you're gonna do is go to the credit card, Scott, or mom and them.
Right.
Why you go to mom and them? Because mom and them make less than you, but mom and them manage better than you.
Right. See, and it's funny because I had a finance advisor. We used to do a show for about like a year, and we did this thing, and she enlightened me when we were talking about AMSCOT. What is it called? Pay something. And what is it called?
Payday.
No,
pay here,
no.
Pay.
No, there's a special name for those type of organizations, and how they operate legally, man. But and we talked about the lifestyle of them living in that arena and constantly borrowing at that high rate, but they're in and out, and they don't know how to get out of that cycle. Am I making sense?
Yep, they get in the cycle, don't know how to get out of the cycle because they're chasing a job. They think that jobs is the way to the top. And so I only get paid $2,000. I only get paid $3,000. I only get paid no. That's one stream of income. You should have 7 streams of income. Or 8. That's what Ecclesiastes 11:2 says. You don't get no one stream of income, your job, but most people are stuck. That's why they live in paycheck to paycheck. They stuck with that one job. This one job. If I lose my job, I need my job. I don't have my job. I'm lost. I need my. Why? Because we got that one stream of income. That's the fall.
Welcome to America. the capitalist, the mindset of the world, whatever that is. It's funny because as we live from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, and I know you can speak on this, a lot of us think that's the way it's supposed to be. Right?
Because Mama told us. Mama told you, go to school, get a good education, get a good job.
And get
you a pension, and retire.
You want to hear something funny? Ken Morse said something to me years ago. You know what he said?
Right.
He repeated what you just said, and he said, "Somebody lied to me, man. Somebody lied to me." I'll always
Yeah.
remember that. He was like,
Yeah.
they told me to do this, this, and this, and this, but they lied to me. You know, well, they misled him. I'll say they
Right.
misled him.
Well, they misled them because they went into their limited understanding. The limited understanding is that there's multiple ways of making money in America. That's why folk die to get here. Is because there's many ways of making money in America, and we in the African community are limited to jobs. Our
Well, but
forefathers couldn't get no job, so they had multiple hustles because they had multiple streams of income. So it wasn't when Granddaddy didn't when the peas wasn't growing. He had corn over here. If he had no corn, he had watermelons. He had no watermelons. He fixed cars. He always had streams of income. He wasn't never stuck. Granddaddy was never stuck. He had many streams of income. With us, we say, "Oh, I get a good job. I'm good." No. Now you become a slave to that job. You become a slave. And that's where we are today. We slaves to our job. You say,
yeah, and
if
then that was
I ain't got no job, I ain't worth nothing.
yeah, and then the thing of it is, just to show you, I said years ago, and I don't know if you want to speak, speak to this because this is just my personality, and this is and one of the reasons why when I said the gentleman, the clinical psychologist, um, was so important to the show because now I would turn to him and talk about that clinical part of what you just said and the whole psyche of it, right? So then he would break that thing down from a clinical, how we are mentally, and and what's going on based on what you just said. But then I said this long time ago. I said how tough mentally and emotionally in life that you're going and spend 8, 9 hours at a place that you hate, but you're only doing it because you're picking up a check. That got to be like really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. We've been programmed. We've been programmed to think that way, and we've been programmed to do it that way. Um, Mom and them, because all of us say the same thing. Mom and them said, go to school, get a good education, get a good job. But
So,
that wasn't working out for black men.
right, but
Because see,
okay.
black men go to school, get a good education, they don't get no good job because they're intimidated. They intimidated. The white man is intimidated by the black man coming to work in their position. So they no, you're not hired. You're gonna work somewhere else. You're gonna work. You're gonna work as like I worked as administrator. They didn't want me to be no manager. No, they don't want me to do that.
Wow.
Oh, so yeah. No, now the black woman. Oh yeah, it's been very good for her because they hire her to be the executive, the CEO. They hire her to do it all. They
Mm.
afraid of that black man. 'Cause they know how brilliant he is, and we don't
Wow.
even realize how brilliant we are. That's a whole
Right.
nother story, man. I digress. That's a whole nother story.
Oh well. If you want to come back and do a show on that, man, we can. I was just sitting here thinking, like, um, just like a couple of years ago, I had my friend that would come on. I had two people on that would come on. I had one that would come on a Wednesday. I used to, I used to, I, I used to, no, not, I'm sorry, not a Wednesday. On the third Monday of every month, I had um, my friend that come on. She's a clinical psychologist. She worked in the same office as Dr. Robinson. when Dr. Robinson stopped doing the show with me, I had her on for a year. And the fourth Monday of every month, I had my friend who was a financial advisor. And I was sitting there thinking, like, man, Chad seemed like he needs to come on at least once a month to give us some tips on how not to be broke. How not to be broke. But help us out though. I mean, tell us, like, where do you start? I mean, how do you go about doing what you do? How do you, bring us in, not physically, but I mean, bring us in mentally to understand what you're talking about? So how does that work?
Well, when you're talking about the Parkinson's law of money, the key is you have to overcome that. How you overcome that is that money without a purpose leaves your hands quickly. Money without a purpose leaves your hands quickly. How many times have you had $20? You break that 20, it's gone. You don't know what you did with it. It's gone. You don't know what you did with it. Why? Because it doesn't have a purpose. Money without a purpose leaves your hands quickly. My strategy is about
Hold
have
on,
a
wait a minute,
purpose.
hold on, Chad. Wait a minute now. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish. What you mean it don't have a purpose? I wanted that Snickers bar. That was that purpose.
Okay. Well, if you did,
No,
when I say
no, right.
when I say purpose, now let
Okay,
me show you an example. I
okay.
had a gentleman. I went to Jones High School teaching the students, and
Mm-hmm.
I said, "How many of you all have received some money at the beginning of the week and still got the money today?" Which that day was Thursday. One dude raised his hand. I said, "Tell me why you still got that money in your pocket." He said, "Cause the classic is on Saturday."
Mm-hmm.
That purpose of that money was for the classic, so he was able to hold on to it. See, money with a purpose stays in your hands longer. It don't matter what that purpose is. Whatever that purpose might be a Snickers. I want to get a Snickers at the end of the week. You will have that money in your pocket for that whole week until you can buy that Snickers because it had a purpose.
You want to know something? I'm gonna share something with you. Um, my parents are no longer here, so I guess I can tell you the story. Ever since sixth grade, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So what? That's 7 years, right? I was on free lunch, but my parents never knew it. So they gave me lunch money every week. So because I wasn't spending on anything, I was a kid that always had change, always had money in my pocket. Well, a lot of people didn't because I got my lunch money. I really didn't have anything to spend it on. So, as a kid growing up, I always had money, because they didn't know I was on free lunch. So I was able to keep that money because I didn't need to buy anything. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that.
Oh, right. You say you didn't need you didn't your tolerance for buying stuff was very low.
Hmm.
Tolerance of buying stuff was very
Right,
low.
right.
That's how you were able to hold on to money. Most people, the way we was taught how to manage money is that we get a checking and a savings account.
Hmm.
Our principles that we live by: pay your bills and save what's left, and nothing is ever left. And then you waiting on your ship to come in, get a better paying job, or hit the lottery.
Oh yeah.
That's the way we live. That's the way we live our life.
Now, I want you to finish your thought, but I was gonna say this earlier. I'm glad you said it because it came back to me. There's some of us who will go and get these lottery tickets because that's our out. That's the way we gonna make it. To me, like I won't say anything, that's like crazy to me. But they spend a great deal of money on saying, I'm gonna win that lottery. I'm gonna win that lottery. And I'm gonna let you speak to that when you want to come back to that. But that's their out. Anyway.
Right. But Parkinson's law don't care how much money it is. Don't care how many zeros you got to be on your name. Parkinson's law say more money you make, the more money you spend. That's what Jay-Z said. More money, more problems.
Yeah.
That's why he said he didn't. I don't know if he even understood Parkinson's law or not. But the
Hmm.
Parkinson's law just says that the more money you get, the more your brain. Shaquille O'Neal he closed the deal with the Orlando Magic. He made $1 million that day. That in one day he spent $1 million that same day on 3 items, on 3 cars, one from him, one for his mom, one for his dad, and then he bought some jewelry. Spent the whole $1 million. And the banker said, Shaquille, don't you know you spent $1 million? He said, yeah, I know I did. It's more where that come from. And so he was living up to the Parkinson's law. And that's what his dad told him, man, you crazy. Don't you do that. And so his daddy taught him that he need to do better about managing his money. That's why he worked right now over $400 million today, because it's what his dad taught him about not living paycheck to paycheck. So he had to become disciplined with his money. And the best way to become disciplined with your money is to give your money a purpose. Every dollar should have a purpose. Every dollar that you receive should have a purpose. And what we do, we don't have purpose with our money. That's the problem.
Well, I'm gonna let you speak more into that, because for people who are hearing you and they're going, "What you mean? My purpose is what I'm spending it on. That's why I'm spending it, because that's my purpose." But I want you to explain that. But there's something that I've been saying, and I understood, and that is how Jewish people hand down their understanding of how to handle money. And there's a saying that a friend of mine taught me years ago, and they said a Jewish person may not like another Jewish person, but they're not going to take their money anywhere else when it comes to spending on this and that. Their first thought is, because I don't have the statistics. I used to have the statistics of the money that would stay in the Jewish community versus the money that stays in the Black community. It's like gone. So
Right.
whatever that is in our mindset, that we don't do what we should do, even in our own circle of creating a high value, of even understanding how that works. But I'm going to let you speak to any of that in which you want to, talk about.
Well, when you're dealing with the Jewish community, they do exactly what I'm telling you. When they have a bar mitzvah, during the bar mitzvah, they teach them that it's 5 purposes for your money. See, when you was telling me about, what you say a purpose, the Snickers was a purpose. That's called reactive. I'm talking about purpose proactive. A proactive purpose says that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have this money here is for play. This money here is for investing. This money here is for priorities. This money here is for bills. This money here. Now, when I make money, I put money in each one of those. I taught my kids when they was little, 9-year-old and 7-year-old. I taught them this 3-can theory. 3-can theory. They had a share can, they had a play can, and they had a save can. Okay? The share can, they take it to church, give offering, birthdays, whatever. Play can, they do whatever they want to do. Okay? And then that save can, that is for college. That's for spending change in college. So that's what they did with every dollar. Now, when they in that play can, you want to buy that Snickers bar? Well, go to the play can. You follow?
Right,
See,
right. I get it.
Reactive people are broke people. That's why Shaquille O'Neal spent $1 million on 3 cars. That was reactive. He got the money, he reacted. No. Managing means you're proactive of what the purpose of your money. My purpose for my money is this. This is the purpose for this money. And we always say in our saying in our house, spend it fast, spend it slow, spend it all, ain't no more.
Okay.
So each can had a purpose. And you fulfill that purpose for that can, whatever's in that can. My strategy says we're going to live beyond your paycheck. How we live beyond your paycheck is because we have money to do things with. The reason that people try to cut costs because they want to have money to do things with. Well, my strategy already set up that you do things. So when I had a guy come to my house and he said, "Man, you want to save on your light bill?" Yeah, no, it don't matter. Why? Because I already got play money. I got play money. I got investment money. I already got share money. That money there for bill money. So all I'm gonna do is pay a bill with that. That's bill money. So I cut costs on the bill money, and it just stay in the account. Why? Because that's for bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's bill money. Why? So it don't motivate me to cut costs. See, most people cut costs to save money, and they never do.
Right.
They cut costs to play. That's what they want to do. The essence of what they're thinking is, I need to free up some money so I can do some things. All they're saying is, I need to free up money so I can play.
But
I already play. I got a play account.
But now I'm asking you as your challenge. I mean, because I get it. I really do understand everything that you're saying, and so I guess what I'm asking you is, we are very stubborn. We don't understand the concept and the mindset of what you're talking about, because a lot of us are extremely materialistic. Um, a lot of us, how can I say this? We we like to show, and then show means that makes me feel that I am somebody, and so therefore it takes to me, a different type of discipline to understand what you're talking about.
Not really. If I got it in my play account, if I went to a restaurant, every restaurant I go to is called all you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
All I care to eat. Why? Because it's in my play account. What's up in my play account? If I got $700 in my play account and I go to Olive Garden, I can eat whatever I want to eat. Right? That ain't got nothing to do. That ain't got nothing to do with my investment money. That ain't got nothing to do with my share money. That ain't got nothing to do with my bill money. That's come from my play account.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to go I want to live large. I'm going to the classic. I want to go buy me some clothes. I want to buy this, buy that, buy that. I'm taking it all out of the play account. So if I spend it all, it's fine. Why? Because I took it from my play account. That's what it's set up there for. That's called managing money. We don't manage money.
Right. But
Middle class Americans don't manage money. They looking at me funny because I don't bought this bracelet for $5,000. Don't bought this bracelet for $5,000. Whoa, see, look at them wearing no bracelet. Well, that come from my play account. That ain't got nothing to do with my savings. I done saved almost $10,000 that month. What? So I brought a bracelet. It came out of play account. So that ain't had nothing to do with my bills. They had nothing to do with my saving money. They ain't had nothing to do, even my sharing money. They had nothing to do with all that. Because all my money has a purpose. If you work for the school or you work for the government have budgets. And in the budget, there's a certain amount of money goes for a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't spend all that money, then they're going to cut that budget next year. Mm-hmm. That money is for that purpose.
Right.
That's what that money is for. I had a CPA that I shared my strategy with, show her how to do my strategy. She said, this is called forecasting. She said, this is what I do every day for my corporations. I said, exactly. When you spend, you got marketing money. You got money set aside just for marketing. And that's what you do with that money, marketing money.
Right.
Okay. This money set aside for repairs. And that's all you do is repair with that money. This money set aside for operations, for payroll. That's what you do with that money. Well, it's the same thing we're supposed to do at our house, but we don't. We get a checking and a savings, and we do all those things we talking about today. There is no purpose for none of it. You just okay. I'm gonna pay the light bill out of that. I'm gonna go eat from that. I'm gonna share money with that. Well, I just shared that money, but my lights got cut off. Why? Because you shared too much, or you went and bought too much because you got all your money commingled together. That is no integrity with your money. That's not integrity when you put all your money together and you spend money for any purpose under heaven. That's no integrity with your money. But when you got your money separated for certain things, now you have integrity with your money. This is for my play. Mama and them did it back in the day. Remember, Charles, you had play clothes,
Mm-hmm.
you had school clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and you had church clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yep.
You could not go outside and play in your church clothes. You'll get your tail wore out. Am I right?
Yep, right.
Okay, and you could not wear your play clothes in no church.
Right.
Right. So you had integrity with your clothes. This is how the Jewish families taught their 13. They teach their 13-year-olds. They have 5 accounts, and they have 5 purposes for every account. And every time they get $1, they put something in each one of those accounts. That's what they teach them.
Right. But I hear everything you're saying, and you make sense to me. But we are very, I'm speaking in general, undisciplined. And a lot of us like to live through these things as show and whatever it is. But it's nothing that you don't already know. And so it's like, how do you convince these people to see life differently, to see themselves differently, and to understand the concept in which you're talking about?
I had a gentleman came in my office one day and he said, "Man, I spend money all the time. Man, I spend so much money on weed." I said, "Well, we need to do a weed account." I don't smoke no weed, but I had to tell you need a weed account.
Right, I got it.
So you put money in that weed account, spend it fast, spend it slow, spend it all, ain't no more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you do it. If you like to buying clothes all the time, like I got another client, she loves buying clothes. Her and her husband, they love buying clothes. I said, well, y'all need to have a clothes account. That account is just for clothes. So
right.
whenever you get money, you put money in your clothes account.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you get money, always put money in your clothes account. Why? Because that's what you like doing.
Wow.
If you got one guy, he like to fish a lot. Say, well, get your fishing account. Because see, he was spending up all the money. He was spending all the money because see, your brain automatically said, if I got a pile of money, what I enjoy doing, I would spend all that money on that money right there because it doesn't have any purpose. If that money says, this is for bills, this is for play, this is for share, I'm not going to look when I'm getting ready to go and fish it. I ain't going into no doggone bill account. I'm not going to go in my bill account to go fishing.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. I get everything you're saying. This is what I'm trying to ask, because everything you're saying takes discipline and understanding what you're saying and how it is beneficial to us. But I believe that a lot of us don't have that type of discipline, even though everything makes sense, because we like to spend money, and then therefore it's like, well, okay, I know, but I'm going to spend the money, and that's how a lot of us are.
No, Charles, we haven't been taught, sir. We haven't been taught. That's the only reason that they're doing that, because they haven't been taught. When I talked to that guy about the weed, he was spending up all the money. But when I talked to him about a weed account, it clicked. He said, got it. How you going to do something that you don't know? I'm going around, I've been doing this for 20 years teaching this concept.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I've seen, I haven't seen but maybe 2 people, over the years I've been doing it, 2 people that had some semblance of what I do when I talk about separating your money.
Mm-hmm.
Two.
Mm-hmm.
Two. Because nobody taught us. Nobody ever taught us how to manage money. If I'm taught how to manage money, see, my wife told me when we were raising our kids, I started yelling at my son, and she said, "Well, hold up. Did you teach him?" I said, "No." She said, "Well, you ain't got no room to holler at him. You ain't taught him yet." So I don't have no room to holler at our community if I ain't taught him yet. Now, if I taught you and you still go do that stupid stuff, now, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
But how I'm gonna go? How I'm gonna go somewhere I don't know? He said, "How can they hear without a preacher? How can he preach unless he be sent?" I mean that how you gonna know? How you gonna know what you don't know? You
Yeah.
don't know.
Right.
You
I
don't
got that.
know.
Right. I got that
So
part.
all
And
you know is you got money, you pay bills, and you spend what's left. That's all you know. And then so you'll cut back on your bills and spend, and then go beg for that to pay the bills with that strategy, with that particular strategy. Now, if you got another strategy saying you separate your money and then you make your decision about what you do, now that's a total different game now.
mm-hmm.
It's totally different. See, you can hide behind the other game. That other one is pay your bills, spend what's left, or save what's left. You can hide in that because you say bills. Oh, okay. Bills ain't due until next week. This ain't for no bill because this is this week. Ain't no bills this week. So they go spend up their stuff. You see? But if you got a play account, you're not thinking like that. The play account says, what I got in my play account. Say, oh, I ain't got but this is my play account. Oh, okay. All right. Your brain come down. Your brain will come down.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is your brain is up here and your money is up here in that checking account. And now you spend it all. Well, if the money was down here, then you're gonna bring that brain down. You're like, okay, I ain't got but $50 in here, so okay. Well, shoot, I guess I'll go to McDonald's. That probably where I'm going. But before I was getting ready to go to Ruth Chris. But then I looked in that play account, only had $50. Say, oh no, we're going to McDonald's. You bring it down. You bring it down. See, though, the strategy helps you to understand what you have and what you're working with. The four principles that we live by: we have share money, we have play money, we have priority money, and bill money.
Okay.
Share money is to share with others. Play money is to play with yourself, to go travel, buy the red bottom shoes, get the weave, do all the nice things for yourself. Priority money is for your short term and long term future, and you only touch it if it's an extreme or emergency and it's a priority. And the bill money is to pay the bills. So when I separate my money, I know what I'm working with now. Once I separate my money, now I know what I'm working with. I remember my daughter went to. She turned 16, and she called all of her friends and said, "Hey, we want to go to the Greek restaurant. Meet me at the Greek restaurant." So it was about 20, 25 of them at the Greek restaurant because we had already gave her a sweet 16, but she wanted to do something else. So all of them met there. They all came together. They all bought their little money so they could buy what they wanted to buy. So I let them go on in and buy. I told the lady, I said, "Hey, come here. How much is that bill?" She said, "Oh, that's $720." I said, "Give it to me." I paid the bill. And then the kids started saying, well, okay, now we want to pay our bill. She said, "Mr. McKendrick paid the bill." They like, well, got that from what account did I get that from?
Yeah.
That was the birthday party. Where would I get it from?
You got it from your play money, right?
No. Play for me.
Okay.
Share is for others.
All right.
I got it
So
out of my share account.
okay.
It was in my share account, so I was able to share and bless the kids
Right. Right.
because I knew what I had in there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I ain't stressing about you ain't stressing about money. I stopped stressing about money when I started doing this process.
Mm-hmm.
We were broke. We had $0. When I say $0, that means $0. No money in the bank, no money in the house, no money nowhere. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. So I know what it feels like to be down. So when we start doing the strategy, we start getting money, we start separating our money.
Mm-hmm.
Separate our money. Now we know what we can do with. Now we know what we work with. Oh, we only got $5 to play. Okay, well, you want to play? No, we can wait. Next time we get some more money, put some more money in there. Say we'll wait till next time so we can play. And next time we get more money, we put more money in each account. Now we start building the accounts. Say, okay, now you ready to play? Oh yeah, I got a little money in there, so let's go. We can go out on this one.
Mm.
Now we ain't stressing no more. We ain't stressing no more. Bills getting paid. We enjoying life. We sharing money, and we saving money.
How long when you first started this? When when you first started this for yourself and you started to recognize it, how long before the light came on for you?
Immediately,
Mm-hmm.
immediately, I saw it. I saw where my money was going. My money was going all over the place. I never knew about the Parkinson's law. I learned about the Parkinson's law 5 years ago. I never knew it was a such law. I knew it was happening, but I didn't know there was a such thing as the Parkinson's law of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like with my strategy. I never knew nobody was doing that. And then a Jewish family shared with us about the bar mitzvah and how they have five accounts. They show the kids five ways they're supposed to manage their money. I was like, man, I never knew it. Only thing I knew is that's what God gave me. When through a gentleman shared it with me, and I come to realize the play account is the most viable account that you would have.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps you from going in your money for future. It keep you from messing with your bill money. That play account will regulate everything. If you talk about even with marriages, I had one guy delivered me my car when I bought my car. He delivered it to me, and he said, "Man, what you do?" And I told him what I do, and he said, "Man, if I would have known you back then, man, I would have had a play account and I would have kept my marriage." Because see, if he had a play account, I said, "Yeah, you ain't give her no money to play with. That's why she spent up all the money."
Right.
If you had a play account, she knows what her limits are with the play account. But there is no limits when you're just looking at a checking account and you got $10,000 in it. She think there's time to play, but because you had no purpose for that money, not one purpose for that money, you have multiple purposes because one of them is to play. So she played with all of it.
Okay, let me ask you this kind of question, because this is the kind of question that I would be asking Dr. Robinson based on what you're just saying, and I'm just because I've had a few birthdays, asking the question, when you're dealing with couples and you just said what you said, is it common or uncommon for you to find couples where one may get that and the other does not get it because it still goes back to the discipline of being able to understand what you can and cannot spend?
Well, the discipline comes of just putting it in there. You'll be amazed. We put that money in our account. I remember my wife called me one day. I'm at work, and she called me and she said, "Hey, me and the kids down here on I Drive, and the Nike got a sale going on." I said, "Okay." She said, "What account I take it from?" I said, "You know what account I take it from?" She said, "Oh, the play account." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Remember, we going to New York for Christmas next week." She's like, "Okay, everybody get one pair of shoes." She knew that she didn't want to spend up all the money there at Nike. She preferred to spend it in New York.
Mm-hmm.
When you have it set up that way, when you have a if that woman got $300 that you put there for her, to spend, or even the man, because sometimes it's different. It's the man that do all the spending, and the wife is the one that try to save. But when you show them that this is a play account, now you got something that hold them for. It's like I can say, okay, listen, that's the play account.
Mm-hmm.
If they go and take money out of the bill account, you say, so that was a bill? You buying those shoes was a bill? Uh, yeah, it could be a bill. Okay, all right. Well, if you feel like that could be a bill, you really fooling yourself. Now, we don't have integrity with our money. We're gonna be broke.
Let me. I'm. I'm gonna. I want you to come back to, but I'm curious in asking this question. What's the no? What's the? And I'm not talking names. I'm just asking the question. What's the most you've had somebody come in who makes a lot of money but don't have no money?
Ooh, there was a guy, a CEO came in my office, and after I showed him, he started to cry. He said, "This is the first time I have somebody I can go to." He said, "I'm always been the go-to man," and he said, "This is you the first time I ever had somebody I can go to." He was a man of six figures,
Mm-hmm.
and he was broke, no money, no money. His wife was sitting there, she about crying too, because both of them were broke. They were broke. They had nothing. But because that's how they live. They live just what we've been taught. Pay your bills, save what's left. Well, when the money coming in, well, my bills have gotten bigger now. Now I'm a doctor or I'm a CEO now. Now I'm gonna move from Pine Hills to Heathrow.
Mm-hmm.
Now my bills are I get a bigger check, but now my bills are bigger too. Now I got this. I'm a CEO now. Now I'm driving the Lexus. Now I was driving in that Ford pickup, but now I'm driving the Lexus. You know, so you getting more bills because you, as you said, like black folk do. They want to flaunt. They want to look like they got some. There's nothing wrong with that, but you got to make sure you manage your money before you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen people with lots of money, and I had one lady came to me, and she was upset with herself. She said, "I hit the lottery last year for $500,000, and I ain't got nothing today."
Mm. Wow.
So it doesn't matter. See, Parkinson's law don't care about how many zeros you got behind your name. Parkinson's law says you're gonna spend it. Man without a purpose loses it quickly. You ain't got no purpose for that money, it's gone. People hit the lottery, be broke.
Oh
Football
yeah.
players,
Yeah.
football players, you talk about 70, I think it was 70% of football players after they retire are broke. It's not even like they played.
Have have you seen the 30 for 30 called Broke when it goes into talking about what you're talking? It's a very good documentary. It's called 30 for 30 Broke.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but I know 30 to 30.
Oh,
I need to
okay.
watch that one. I'm gonna watch that one. 30 to 30 broke.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it to you. I I actually have it, and it's very good because they go through array of athletes, black, white, tennis player, football players, baseball players, hockey players, a lot. I mean, some of those football players that you will recognize. You just standing there and you just shaking your head, man. It's just like, wow, brother said, man, I was paying for 30 cell phones.
Yeah. Remember, Jay-Z said more money, more problems. Why? Because the concept that we live by is pay your bills and save or spend on yourself what's left.
Right,
And that's a terrible concept.
right,
Terrible.
right.
When you manage the money, it doesn't matter what kind of money you got. If you managed it, but
Right.
see, no matter how many zeros you get behind your name, if you got a hole in the cup, no matter how much water you put in it, it's coming out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they were facing. It's the principle of what they understood about money. Now,
Oh, yeah.
do 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 the wealthy care about that? No. That's how they become wealthy, because of your ignorance. I
Right.
like to call it capitalism. They capitalize on your ignorance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
They
that's
capitalize on your ignorance.
that.
That's why they got all of them payday stores and the Elm Scotts in our community. And
Right.
then right next door, you got the liquor store. Why? They know you're gonna break it. Then you're gonna right over there next to the liquor store.
All right. Well,
And that's why the government also said, well, we giving them a stipend. We're gonna give them some money. We're gonna give them stimulus package, a stimulus package. Yeah, a stimulus package. Why? But they know what you're gonna do with it. What you
mm,
gonna do with it? First thing you're gonna do with it is spend it, because the Parkinson's law says that's what you do. If I said I'm gonna give you, if you say $3,000 is gonna be coming to you next week, your brain already done spent the money before the money got there. That's what happened to football players, basketball players. That's what happened to them. They say, I'm gonna buy mama a house, me a house, I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna get me a Bentley, I'm gonna get this. So they already fantasizing what they're gonna do with that money. So no matter what you tell them, you can get a financial advisor in front of them telling them everything. They say, well, we got financial advisors, talk to them, and they know. No, boys already made up their mind what they're gonna do. So the financial advisors just up there and they look like wah 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 wah. They ain't heard nothing they said.
well, again, based on what you just said, I definitely got to send you 30 for 30 broke, man, because everything you just saying, and I'm telling you, when you hear that story, it's it's a very good documentary, because we're talking a lot of players you recognize. I mean, they sitting there, they telling their story, and you recognize them, and they are broke.
Yeah, yeah, because the more money you make, the more money you spend. Because
Mm,
you start spending more money and more money and more money and more money, and then when you got money, then you got leeches. Leeches start coming. Leeches start coming. You're like, oh, they coming with the sob story. Oh, see, if I did my share money. Now look here, Charles. If I had a million, if I got $1 million. If I did 10, 10, 20, 60. 10% goes in my share, 10% goes in my play, 20% goes in my priority, and 60% goes to my bills. Get a leech say, hey, Chad, I need $5,000 because I want to do such. I go to my share account. What I got up in there? Ooh, we got $100,000 in my share account. Okay, I can give you five.
hmm
They ain't got nothing to do with my money. They ain't got nothing to do with my play money. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. My share money, because I'm dealing with an athlete right now, a young athlete. He getting his NIL money. That's what I'm dealing with him. I say, okay, you got share money, because that money you know you want to share with mama. Just have it sitting over there for mama. Okay,
hmm
that money over there. Okay, your priority money, that's for your future. Okay, and then they got this money down here, this play money. That's the play money. You can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So
Okay.
so when mama come calling, okay, that's the share money right there. That's all I got for you, mom. She said, oh, thank you, baby.
Mm,
It ain't hurt him none. Why? Because that was money he set aside to share.
right. Okay.
See, that's the managing money. See, we don't manage money. We budget money, but we don't manage money.
Right.
Managing money means you place it where it's supposed to go first. Give it a purpose first. Put it where it's supposed to go. Then you work from your budget.
Mm,
Now you do the budget.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we haven't been taught this. That's why I've been working and I'm looking to hire and train more African American males that I can train to be financial coaches to teach these principles
And
to
right at the
get to our community.
right,
Yep.
living beyond your paycheck, and
Yep.
where can we find this right here?
Livingbeyondyourpaycheck.com.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I appreciate you coming up, and what you're saying this makes sense. And then I also had talked with you. and maybe you can come back. But I had talked with you one of the times that I had spoken to you about coming on the show, and that is, what do you do with those who are retired? I don't know if you remember me, talking about that, but I would like to hear, and for you to give the information with it, just speaking, because when you speak of those who are retired now, which is probably the same story, but still, I think that is people. I guess basically it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but it's not.
Okay.
Retirees are dealing with taxes.
Okay, well, they'd like to have you come back and we can talk about the retirees and the taxes. Okay. All right. Tell us again where we can find this book. Tell us again.
You go to livingbeyondyourpaycheck.com, or you can Google my name, Chad McKendrick, and everything about me comes up. I'm the only Chad McKendrick in the world.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much for taking the time to come on the Journey 2020. It's been very informative. You blessed us, and thank you so much. And hopefully we can discipline enough to understand that we can do this, do this, do this, do this, and do this. That means put it here, put it here, put it here, put it, and know what it means. Know what it means.
Right. That's right. And if we do that, you'll find yourself being happy. Yeah. God made us to be, we have order. God is a God of order. When you have order, you're happy. Right. You're not happy when you're in disorder.
All right. Well, all right. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and close the show out. We appreciate him taking the time to come on the Journey 2020. And I'm Charles Morris. As we say, faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of the Lord. Everybody, place it. You got 5 different categories, remember? So place it, have the discipline to do so. And so God bless you so you can bless yourself, and also you can bless others. And this is the Journey 2020. For questions, comments, and concerns, we have the email. And if you would like to find out more, I'm going to have his phone number up in probably, actually, Chad, if they want to get in contact with you for a session, what is it that they need to do?
They can just hit me up at 407-929-7328. It's a free consultation. We give you a free strategy. So it's everything, all of my consultations are free. So yeah, so it's 407-929-7328.
All right. Again, this is Journey 2020. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. You be blessed, and hope that you're enjoying the NBA playoffs.